You don't really need a taller chair.
No, I don't.
I'm going to start off with a public hearing on for the community block development five-year plan. May I have a motion to open up the public hearing at 7:02?
I'll move that. I'll second it.
Now that the meeting's open, is there anyone wishing to speak for or against the community block grant five-year plan? No one? All right. May I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll move it.
You guys speak up. Who's second?
I'll move it. I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The minutes have been distributed. May I have a motion to accept the minutes as distributed?
I'll move it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Citizens' comments. Are there any citizens wishing to speak on any town issues tonight?
Cindy Clark, 27 West Genesee Street. I just wanted to let the public know that if anybody has any perennial plants that we can put in the butterfly garden, like hostas or cosme or anything like that, you're looking to clear out your gardens, reach out to me, and I'd be more than happy to come and pick them up so we can add to the garden in the Lysander Park. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi, Rob Helfrich, 349 Hourglass Lane. Good evening. I just wanted to kind of inquire with the board about the comprehensive land use plan. The first meeting to update the 2015 comprehensive land use plan was held on November 16th, 2020. As stated in the minutes, the mission of the club team is to review and fine-tune the existing document adopted in June 2015. It was not meant to be a comprehensive rewrite. The very first sentence of the 2015 club is the purpose of the comprehensive land use plan is to provide the town of Lysander with a sound plan for land use for at least the next 5 years. Since then, there's been a significant number of residential, commercial, and industrial projects in the town of Lysander. The town is in a phase of unprecedented growth. The club is a key document which sets the tone for sustainable growth while retaining the town of Lysander's outstanding characteristics. In 2020, the board recognized the need to update the club and authorized the planning board to commence its review and fine-tuning. The club update was first discussed during the September 3rd, 2020 town board working session. At the initial club meeting in November of 2020, Jack Corey suggested the document would be completed by June of 2021. That deadline is nearly 12 months past due. It's my understanding late last year the town board did not set a deadline for the completion of the club, rather directed the zoning board to take their time and get it right. I attended myself a few club meetings, including the meeting that was held on April 27th. After that meeting, I asked Jack Corey, what the timing is for the completion of the club update. He stated that the town board is not in any rush to get the document completed. As far as completion, he said it could be 3 months, 6 months, he didn't know. This is an important document that sets the tone for the town's industrial, commercial, and residential development. Future seekers need to be consistent with the club. As a citizen of the town of Lysander, I ask what's the deadline? What are the outstanding items that still need to be updated? And who's responsible for finalizing each one of those tasks? It just appeared to me that taking 2 years to simply review and fine-tune the club is probably a bit excessive. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else wishing to speak tonight? Yes, sir.
Just on the Lakeside, I like you guys more every day, but not quite. There's still another party out there. The Baker High School girls varsity softball team is currently 16-1. Played West Genesee again. We beat the snot out of them the other night, and we're going to do it again this Friday. So I want you to know that you have one heck of a team pulling for, and there's a lot of parents and quite a show going on there. I just, I had to say that, because one of them is my granddaughter. She hits home runs even, so. Come on out and see it. Thank you.
I have seen them, like we discussed, and I think women's softball is a great sport. I actually like it better than men's baseball, personally. You're right. You know, I might be in the minority, but town board comments. Start with you tonight, Mr. Kudaraskis.
Couple things. I want to thank Al for his work he did last Thursday. I ran into him after a hard day's worth of work. He drove around every street of the town that had a light and recorded any light that was out. So Al, how many lights were out that you found?
So I actually only got through about half the town and finishing up tonight.
Okay.
I was out until about 11 o'clock. I found 2 that National Grid never completed the connections on that are new lights, and then I found 5 other ones that have bad fixtures on that need to be replaced. And then I'm getting into Radisson tonight, so we'll see where that is. I know of at least 4 in Radisson right now that are out, so we'll see how many other ones I find. But
Yeah, no, thanks for that.
it's just they're punch list items that we want to make sure the contractor takes care of before we make a final payment.
The highway department, their phones are up and running. Now they can do inter-office calling between the 2 by extensions, which is good. We didn't have that before. And I see Rick Schrader in the audience, so I'd like to thank you for all the services that you've done here. You know, appreciate it, so. It's good to see you. That's it.
We'll stick to the agenda tonight. Thank you.
Gene, I'll congratulate the girls softball team too. They're doing a nice job. And all Beagle Sports do a great job. And all in all, I know your granddaughter, my former students, they're all out there doing stuff. Thank you to everybody who showed up tonight. Thank you to everyone who's watching Unpack. And I'll go to the agenda from here.
And like I said, my granddaughters are playing in a number of sports here, and I know that there's a number of teams that are doing really well this year. Lacrosse team, boys and girls are doing really well with softball teams, so they're all doing great, and I enjoy watching all of those games, and I watch as many as I can. But thank you, Mr. Dinsmore. Feel free to let us know when they're in there, and hopefully we get a section and a state champ out of them.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, it will be sweet. So, Senator Mannion was working, I was informed by the supervisor in the town of Van Buren that Senator Mannion obtained an additional $100,000 grant for water chestnuts. So I sent Senator Mannion a letter, and I'll read it. I was recently made aware that you secured a grant of $100,000 for the removal of water chestnuts in the Seneca River bordering the towns of Van Buren and Lysander. Although I realized that grant was not specifically for the town of Lysander, the removal of the water chestnuts in that section of the Seneca River will certainly improve the quality of life of Lysander residents that use that part of the river for recreation. I want to thank you for your continued support of the town of Lysander residents. Your efforts are very much appreciated by me, our town board, and Lysander residents. Respectfully, Robert Diggs. I think that we are getting our money's worth out of all of our state representatives. Senator Mannion, Minority Leader Barkley, and our county executive, our Brian May, our county legislator. They're all doing a great job for us, and we are, even with this grant, this $100,000 grant, for anybody that uses the water or lives along the water on either side of the Lysander and Van Buren, there's a lot of people that use it, and we're benefiting from it, so I think that we need to recognize our representatives when they do something for us, and that's why I sent this letter. And I would encourage anybody in the town that either uses the water or lives along the river or in Baldwinsville that likes the way our river is, to at least drop a line to Senator Mannion to let him know that we appreciate what he's doing. And that goes for any of our representatives. When they do something and I'm made aware of it, I try to let them know that I and our board appreciate what they're doing for the town. But I think it's important for individual residents to also send them. I think it's more important for the individual resident to send a thank you to the senator. I think it means more than from me. So I just wanted to make sure that people knew what the senator was doing for us. That's all I have. Department head reports. Mr. Rizzi. Mr. Merrill.
This past Sunday, on the 15th, we wrapped up a pickleball tournament. Total 16 teams, there's 64 individuals in 2 divisions, all day Sunday, so great use of our 4 permanent and 4 temporary courts. We had all 8 courts going pretty much all day long. The pickleball players themselves, they invited the Purpose Farm out there to kind of just spread some information about what they do. And the Purpose Farm, through a couple of different raffles and donations that they took from the pickleball players, raised $500 for their farm. So just a nice benefit from the pickleball players for them. We have the Memorial Day parade coming up on Monday, May 30th. We have a float we'll be participating in. It consists of a landscape trailer for the park, from the park, in our pickup truck. But I know Mr. Jurassi's going to be riding. Mr. Wicks has chose to walk. So if anyone else chooses to participate, either walk or ride.
Right.
Okay. Bring a lawn chair.
I would be walking.
Excellent. So we have that. We have registration currently underway for Zumba for older active adults. So they can pretty much call the office to register. There is information on Facebook and on the website page. That is scheduled to start June 1st. It's every Wednesday for 6 weeks. We have pickleball for beginners only. We have an introduction to pickleball. It offers just some real basic instruction, and then allows the beginners to paddle the ball around and kind of learn to play the game a little bit without over instructing them. That's Sundays. There's one this Sunday, May 22nd, and then we have them scheduled for June 5th, June 26th, July 17th, and August 14th. And this information will all be up on Facebook and on the website. Those are 1 to 4. I encourage anybody that wants to try pickleball. And this is for adult individuals, families with kids, preferably 10 or older, but it's open to pretty much everybody. We also have beginner pickleball for beginners only, open play, and we've dedicated the courts on Tuesday nights and Thursday nights to beginners only. What we've done that, is what we've found is the more seasoned players aren't very welcoming to the beginners, so we've created a couple of nights just for the beginners. What else we got? Spray Park will be open by Memorial Weekend. And athletic field construction is progressing nicely. We should be putting grass seed down, through hydro seed, should be
Tuesday afternoon.
maybe by next week. So Al's got a better idea of the schedule than I do on that, but we should be hydro seeding by next week. So that's a wrap.
Mr. Sweeten.
Two things. First, I'd like to thank everybody who's watching and appreciate the patience of those who are getting their roads done or the inconvenience of their neighborhoods. We aren't quite finished. Please be vigilant when there are trucks in the road, equipment, a flagman. Just make sure that you're 100% focused on what's going on as you go through those work zones. And I also would like to ask Mr. Rick Shader to come up. We've got a plaque. He's a recent retiree of up 33 years, 32 years was it?
Almost 32.
Almost 32. There you go, man. Appreciate all your years of service, and I'm sure the town does as well.
Thank you.
And I'm glad your knee's doing good too.
Could you read the plaque for the?
Sure. Presented to Richard Shader in recognition of your many years of dedication, hard work, professionalism, and friendship to the town of Lysander. Your presence will be missed. Congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you. Okay, send it down to the messenger and.
Nice. Thank you.
That's great. I didn't get informed that you were coming in. I would have put you formally on the agenda tonight, but we're glad to see you and we're sorry, we're gonna miss you.
Well, we did, we're putting them back on item C right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Yeager.
Couple things, update on the schedule for the soccer fields. Tentatively, we're gonna do sections at a time, with topsoil and hydro seed, just so we can get good coverage and not have to drag the hose all over the fields, while we're doing it. Tentatively, first section should be hydro seeded by the end of the day Tuesday. And then, looks like we got a couple of rain days in a row, so we probably won't be doing much topsoil work. Hopefully by the end of the first week in June, we should have all the topsoil in place and everything hydro seeded and be on to working on the parking expansion. So should have that project wrapped up by latest second week in June, if not a little earlier. So the project's going good. The weather's been a struggle. I will say the drainage field has worked as intended. I mean, we've gotten quite a bit of rain in the last couple days, and they were running 10-wheel trucks over that today to move topsoil without any problems, no ruts. So the drainage system's working really good, and we're gonna have a really nice facility there when it's done. On top of that, the MS4 report, annual New York State DEC MS4 report will be posted on the website tomorrow. It'll be open for public comment. And at the next board meeting on June 2nd, I'll do a little dog and pony show that I do every year and talk about what the minimum control measures are and where we're at in regards to our stormwater management plan.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Picano?
We are almost ready to close out 2021. Bid it farewell. And as soon as that happens, we'll move on to some 2022 items that you guys will see next session probably. And that's really what we've been concentrating on.
Great. Okay. How about from the town clerk's office?
Everything's good there.
Everything's good.
It's always good there.
So we'll move on to the regular agenda items. May I have a motion to approve the 2022 Community Black Development Block Grant 5-year plan and the 2022 CDBG applications?
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? What that is we're applying for a couple of grants, one for $150,000 and one for $50,000. In order to get those grants, there were certain things that we had to do, and one was to put the 5-year plan together, and that's part of it. So that's why we had our public hearing tonight. Hopefully we will get those 2 grants. So all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to approve the budget modification worksheet provided by the town comptroller?
I'll move that.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to appoint Leslie Cartier and Rainey Dottier.
Ronnie Dottier.
Ronnie Dottier. Okay, it's Ronnie? It says
Yes.
Rainey.
It's Ronnie. It's
Okay.
pronounced Ronnie.
All right, it's Ronnie. All right, I'm going to call it Rainey.
It's Ronnie.
All right, Ronnie Dottier at a rate of $45 per hour to temporary employment as instructors of the GEMS Plus camp.
I'll move it.
I'll second that.
Want to explain what the GEMS is?
So GEMS is girls engaged in math and science. The plus part of that is a community service aspect that Leslie added to the program a few years after she had started it. So this year, their service aspect of it is the projects that they'll be working on the week of GEMS camp will benefit Helping Hounds, and then they will be going to Helping Hounds to work with the dogs on a day, partial day.
Did you open up applications for that yet?
That is opened and already closed. It's maxed out at, I think it was 45.
Yeah, that's usually well attended. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Kevin, can you, for the benefit of the public, one more thing?
Sure.
The $45 an hour, that's reimbursed, I mean, we don't.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so the 45 is based on their teacher salaries. They're both teachers with Beeville. Leslie started the program, runs it through the town, basically for registration and to reimburse herself as a school doesn't, the school won't run it as their program for her, so she came to the town, I think it was like 2014 or 15 when she started it. So we basically sponsored the program. All the expenses, including the 45 per hour for Leslie and Ronnie, are completely covered and reimbursed through registration fees.
Is there any, I think it's great that this program's been around so long and it does what it does. Is there any discussion for doing the same thing for young boys? Because we make the presumption that girls are the ones that really need this help and I don't want to be misunderstood, but they are comprising over 50% of college attendance is in engineering, math, or is female now.
Right.
Which is great, but at the same time, I don't want to see the boys get left behind.
Right.
I'm wondering if you can just push our friends in Beeville
Yeah.
schools.
Well, I know that the Beeville, and fortunately and unfortunately, I mean, the Beeville School District is also doing their own GEMS, not GEMS, but a STEM program. They're doing it, and it's an enrichment program that they'll have throughout the summer. They're offering several enrichment programs. That one is boys and girls. I mean, I'll certainly open it up. I'm open to the idea, and I'll discuss it with Leslie, and perhaps, 1 week's girls, 1 week is boys, and
Well, and again, not to debate it
Right.
here, but the fact that the registration opens and closes so quickly,
Right.
you know there's a demand.
Right.
You just know there is. Good job.
thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May a motion appoint Cedric Oakes as MEO in the Highway Department per Ken Sweetag, Highway Superintendent, at an hourly rate of $23.10 per the union contract effective June 13, 2022.
I'll move it.
We'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. May I have a motion to accept the resignation of William Lester from the planning board effective June 30th, 2022.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Well, the only thing I would like to say for the record, I've known Mr. Bill Lester for quite a few years, and he's a dedicated individual, and I can't tell, I don't know myself how many years he's been on the planning board and involved in all aspects, but he's given a lot back to this community, so good luck to him on that.
Yeah, Mr. Lester, I've worked with him for the last couple of years, and he's a real professional, and he has a lot of experience. It's going to be hard to fill his shoes, but he probably wants to take a little time and just have some recreation, but we're going to miss him, and we certainly wish him well in the future. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to accept the resignation of Danny Parrish from the Highway Department effective May 5th, 2022?
I'll move it.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. There's no need for an executive session, so I have a motion to adjourn at 7:27.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.